Yeah, that's super. I don't know whether there comes then second and third, because that would be
Maybe he should
super, ja,
be beside her, no?
Yeah.
Aber das kannst du machen.
So you don't have to switch.
Das ist super, weil dann ist nicht aufgeschrieben.
Yeah, can you be there next to her? Maybe? Thanks, man.
This is, I work also in Tuscany, and they ask me, hey, can you do compost? And then I thought, okay, maybe I do in German and in Italy and in English. So once in some years, sometimes I did 1 year only compost. I call myself Queen of Compost. I like it. I really enjoy it and I'm passionate about it. So if you start a compost, depends also on the climate. Here it's a little bit dry, but if it's not so super dry, like for example you have in Thailand or India, you have monsoon, or in Europe you have sometimes a lot rain. So you start to look at the place nearby a tree that you have half shade at least, or shade. In case you have no other option and it's in full sun, which should not be like this, but sometimes it's like this, then you have to cover at least the compost super good and to water it regularly, like a plant. So normally you start, you look, so the size of a normal compost can have each size, yeah? Any size. So you start with Äste in German, rami in Italy, and branches in English.
Rama.
You just take some dry branches you have, and you just like this, like in a chaotic way, you just throw. So it's for if there is too much rain, that the rain goes inside the soil, and also the air can, if the hive becomes a little bigger, the air can come through the branches and give some air from the bottom. If you have an extremely dry climate like it is here, I would recommend to do it like this, that you open the soil a little bit. So permaculture people will tell you don't open the soil. So I have a little bit my own style, so I would like to open it a little bit with a fork, like this. Really little bit, just little bit to open. Then I would give some water to make moisture.
To wake it up?
Huh?
To wake it up?
Oh, I think you can understand, no? Give some water and moisture, because it's about the microorganism all the time. They need moisture. So give water all the time.
Moisture, wie heißt es auf Deutsch?
Feuchtigkeit.
Feuchtigkeit. Ah, okay.
Then it's like there is a principle, yeah. So the principle is for you to understand. There are 3 components are really good and important for the compost, which is fresh green, any fresh green. You can use also, because you have, for example, many ponds, you can use, if you have to pull out the water plants, you can use the green water plants, or weed, something fresh green.
And also the leaves of the cactus.
Yes.
Very good.
Sorry, but no matter if you have mala yerba and it has semilla in it, will it die?
So if you have wheat and you don't want to have this wheat, and you the wheat is if the wheat is green and no seeds already, only
seeds.
flowers, maybe fresh flowers, because the old flowers will turn into seeds. But if you have wheat which is fresh, you can use, because the normal compost, if you make a pile, it will go up to 70 degrees. It's super hot, inside. So this is somehow burning. But if you really, if you have a finca or a farm where you have some wheat and the seeds you really don't want to have, then you have to extra burn it. Yeah. Okay, so you have fresh green all the time, and then you have dry material, like here. Maybe you can open that they can see. Dry material, also any dry material. It's about the carbon. So dry leaves, dry branches, everything which is dry. And it's the same for like bokashi compost. The smaller the pieces are, the more fast the compost will be ready. So I work in agriculture all the time, so we cannot do a scientific topic out of the compost. So we just do the compost one time, and then we leave it for half a year or 1 year, and then we take the ready compost. So we are not turning. If you start a farm, or in case you need a compost very fast, you can make it more fast in turning the compost regularly.
And shreddering before.
Yeah, small pieces. The smaller it is, the faster it will go. So,
Ina, sorry for disturbing. Another question: when the branches are still green, there is the possibility that they will grow. No, that they will grow roots.
No.
I saw like this. When you do it and you do moisturing regularly, then you have the strong chance that it grows beneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I never saw that. So normally I do the branches, then I show maybe before the principle, and then you can maybe also ask again, because maybe your question is then answered. So here we don't do with the branches because it's super dry. So open up the soil a little bit, like the size you want to have. Then give water to make it moisture and the microorganism. Okay. And then maybe we start with the green.
No, we start with the green, not with the branches.
No, here not, because it's dry.
Okay.
If it's not dry in subtropical like Thailand or in Germany, if it's raining a lot, you start with the branches.
Okay.
But here no. So you can put the green as a layer. Yeah? So you always have 3 different layers. This is the fresh green. Then you can put kitchen waste. So the vegan people always say, Ina, we don't want to use cow shit or animal shit. We are vegan. So you can use kitchen waste. Yeah. So here you have this onion and lemon thing. So like this, no problem. Yeah. But if you have the full bucket, maybe in one spot, yeah, only lemon, then it will give a problem. Yeah. So you take this. Then you can also use just the bucket and empty like this and spread.
Onion and lemon diet.
That's where the urine. Okay. Or you use cow shit or goat shit if you have bird shit. You also with the bird shit, like you said, Hormut, you take the bird shit in case this is bird shit and just here and there, yeah? And then you put a layer of dry stuff.
This is very dusty, so take care that you're not
Dusty, okay.
very dusty. Yeah.
Very dusty, okay.
Very old, very dusty.
Super dusty. I try to move slow. Okay, yes. He's right. Okay. So the thing is, and then you repeat. Oops. Green, kitchen waste, dry. Green, kitchen waste, dry. And it's not for the microorganism. They will mix up everything, yeah. But it's for you to understand. Same part dry, same part fresh green, same part kitchen waste or animal manure.
And earth?
Shit.
You never put some earth?
So you can. I just always want to teach the simple style, the basic style. So, and this is good even if you have only dry and green and just little bit kitchen waste, you can try. But maybe you give sometimes water, that the microorganism can work. And so here, for example, actually too much sun. So we need some big leaves, coconut leaves or something to cover. Yeah. So then the microorganism and animal, they will immediately come from the soil also up. They can smell, they like it. And if you continue like this, you can continue like this, you can make more long, you can make different one, start with one and start the next. So the temperature will go up to 70 degrees. So normally in the farming I was working, we have been happily that the wheat seeds are digested inside the compost. And if we had very rare, we had something we really did not wanted to have anymore on the farm, we burned extra.
Yeah.
And that something was growing, I never had the experience. So it's to mix. You do not put, so in Thailand, people ask me, Ina, look at our compost, it's not working. So they put something like this, a huge pile, only this. I said, you put only this? Okay, nothing can work. So it's about, again, to mix.
It's like in the world, componere.
Yeah.
It says already.
Yes.
It's like a composition.
Yeah, and if you have
Composition.
poo, if you have the poo from the dry toilet, you can make a layer of the poo. Or you mix, and then next layer. So it's always about diversity. Yeah. So here you have these three components: fresh green, dry, kitchen waste, or cow or animal shit. Yeah. And so in Switzerland they said, Ina, our compost is ready after 3 months. I said, what? It's only normally in Asia, in Thailand, like this. So you say, no, it's like this. So if there is a perfect mixture between shade, water, rain, yeah, it can be really fast. And you see the compost is ready if you somehow can take it in your hand and have a good smell about earth, actually. If you don't have, you look whether it's too dry. Sometimes it also can be too wet. Then you start a new one. And so normally average was 1 year. So in the farming I was working, we kept it for 1 year. We did it one time, we left it, and then we took it when it was ready. Yeah, that's the
Question?
Yeah.
Because here on the finger I have at some point a lot of yerbas, green,
green.
because you know it's growing all, and
Yeah.
at one point I have to take it away. Can I just make a compost with only this?
Only green.
Yeah, and maybe and some dry stuff.
Yeah.
without kitchen waste, no?
You
It's
should mix with dry.
Yeah.
What is not really working is if you put a huge pile of green, it will become so hot. You can see the smoke. It's burning, and then you have a pile of fungus. Yeah. So it's always about mixture.
Maximum or
It's actually you can do like this,
30,
but
about
you can
30
also
centimeters?
do more thin layers.
Layers.
It's more that you
The
understand you have these three components because the animals and the microorganisms, they change everything.
Yeah.
They mix it.
Yeah, okay. Are you ready with it?
Yeah.
Because I saw once,
Very fast. You can put much smaller things and you can turn, and maybe you can cover to have a really big heat.
Yeah.
If you make sure that there's enough water. Yes, but for farming we just let it be there and take it when we need. Because we do all the time.
And if doesn't rain, but the weather is humid, do you need to water this?
It doesn't rain and it's humid.
Yeah.
So the humidity here in La Palma is really a lot. If you said in the morning that it's really everything wet here.
On the ground.
Yeah.
But not in the summer. In the summer we have here very, very hot, and I think in the summer I have to give water to the
You have,
compost.
in the summer, I think it's some month, there's no drop of rain.
When the Kalima comes, it's dry everything.
Yeah, okay, Kalima, yes.
Yeah.
So it's like in Morocco, in the desert. So then you have to think about the compost, like about a plant. A compost is a living organism. And then you have to give water.
Yeah, it's dry.
Yes. Because if it's dry, it will immediately stop to work.
Can you reanimate then when once it's dry out?
You put just fresh green, water.
And then you can start it over
maybe,
again.
yeah, I don't know.
But if the compost is ready and dry, this compost is dead?
Compost is ready and dry.
Yes.
So what I saw is that even maybe somebody started a compost, but it's exposed to the sun and maybe long time no rain. You can just take and you can see whether there are small animals crawling or not. If it's like powder, so everything died of the microbe. This is really, it needs dark and it needs moisture, water.
And if it rains a lot?
If it rains too much, this is what I said. In Thailand, I built the first layer. Really,
But should you cover it?
oh yeah. So
Plastic?
so in Asia, in Thailand, for example, you have monsoon, or in India, no, we almost take the cover off, so the rain can go somehow through. I mean, you can also cover it that no rain is coming, but normally then the rain is coming from the bottom. So it's also you check, yeah. It depends also if you have the compost on like this or like that.
But it's not a problem if it's too wet.
Too much water.
Too much water.
Too much water can
it is.
only be if you have an area which is like this. Then the water can stay. If you have an area little bit like this, the water will flow.
So if
The
you
water will not take away all the
Nutrition, yeah. So,
So
yes.
if it's a place where it
The
rains,
water,
if it's a place where it rains a lot, then would it make sense if you have some pallets, to build your compost on top of the pallets, so that the water can go underneath?
yeah, this is a possibility. What we also did, we built a roof, a simple roof. Yeah, we built a compost like this in Thailand, I think we did, and then we built a roof that the rain is, if you have monsoon, because then
It's a lot and it's draining out all
yeah.
the good
So we built a
material.
roof and the compost stayed fine. Under.
It's also maybe good here if it's too strong sun. You have a roof and then you
Yeah.
have some shade.
Yeah.
No? For
Same.
compost.
Yes.
Yeah,
Compost is a living organism, and compost is the heart of each farm and each garden. Yes. Compost is really like our heart is for our body. So it's extremely important, and we have. And so this is, I work in organic farming since I'm 16. You cannot work in organic farming without compost. So it's the food, and it builds up. It's building up the humus. So you had the question, what is the interesting thing about terra preta? So the interesting thing about terra preta compost is, if you do bokashi, if you do terra preta toilet, you work with charcoal. You work with fermentation and charcoal. And if you put into the soil these fermented bokashi, kitchen waste, or fermented poo, or anything other fermented with the charcoal, you mix with the soil, and the plants are growing, and the charcoal will stay. This is what they found in the Amazon. The charcoal is staying there for hundreds and thousands of years sometimes. And if there are some leaves falling down and some organic material coming, the terra preta, the charcoal where the microorganisms are inside, they eat the organism seasons which are coming with the green leaves, and they produce compost by themselves after some time. It's not in the first year and not in the second year, but if you do with the fermentation for many years, yeah, this is what they did in the Amazon. The civilizations who lived there, they use the charcoal and the fermentation for many years, many generations. And then you need just let the leaves fall, come some organic material, and they are working on themselves.
Yeah, it's like nature works. No?
And you have not to compost bring and prepare again, compost bring and prepare. This is the mystery, or this is the magic thing in Terra Preta, that it's then building up by itself. And it's very for, I don't know, somebody asked for to make beds like this. I think you for to do urban gardening in the cities. Terra Preta humus, it's very rich, yeah. So it keeps the nutrition very much concentrated. You do not need so much. You need less. From the normal compost, you need more material, more substance. You want, you can make how high you want, and then cover if there's too much sun.
And the plants of the
Fresh green.
¿cómo se llama estanque en inglés?
Yeah, you can
Dry.
use also as fresh green.
Kitchen waste.
Yeah.
Plants of the pond.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, then a layer of
Layer, just layers. And the layers are not for the animals, the layers are for your mind to understand different stuff. Because the animals will mix.
I like the cake.
Is there
Yes,
The different colors.
For
but
me,
when
it's
you,
cooking.
When you mix it in the mouth, is
For me, it's cooking.
how
same.
small can it be? Any?
How
It
small
can
can
Is
it
there
be?
a
Oh my
minimum?
Actually, if you have this mixture of green and dry and the fruit scrap, you can make a compost like this.
In La Palma, no.
No, there's
No limit.
Just to make sure that you
And it
have.
will get hot. If it's small, it
If
can
it's-
be
if it's-
temperature can.
If it's small, it will dry out more fast, because if you have a lot of material, the water will stay more easily inside. If you make it smaller and the air and the wind is coming, it will dry out more fast. So you have just to make sure that it's in the shade, that you cover properly, and that still there is a lot of water to work.
Yeah.
And one question, you also use the diluted peat, for example, or is that
Yes.
too much? Or,
Yes, you can. This is sometimes in winter, also in Germany. They say, okay, what shall we do with our pea? So you can pour, you can dilute with water, so minimum half urine, half water, even more water. And you can also, not in one spot, yeah?
Yeah,
You can
spread
just
out.
like this. And it will stay in the compost, and make sure that it's not going directly through the compost. And then it will stay in the compost, and then you will have.
And the rising of temperature is necessary.
It's coming by itself.
But if
Yeah.
you do wrong or something and
Part of the
temperature does
procedure.
not increase, is something wrong or is it good anyway?
So normally it becomes so hot because the process is like this, that
It happens always.
becomes
Yeah.
hot. So I only saw that this super big pile only of green stuff become extremely hot, but nothing changing, because only green on a pile, and then fungus come. But you will see. You will see. And if it's too cold, normally not possible. Because even in Germany, if there's snow and ice inside the compost,
It's
but
working.
It's little
it
warm,
cannot
yes.
cause fire.
Huh?
It cannot start to burn. Also,
ah,
we are here in La Palma.
yes.
Yes,
Mm.
it
They have a very
can.
hot compost and it's very dry. Suddenly,
No, not like this.
okay.
And you have to make sure that your compost is not a pile only out of dry.
Yeah, sure.
You have to make sure that your compost is a living organism. Like you give plant water to your papaya or to your banana, you have to make sure that your compost also has a lot of moisture. So in case of a big fire should stay like this.
So let's build walls of compost all around the garden.
Stuff. So for my feelings, I'm half a year in La Palma, yeah. But for my feelings, with the almond, I would do like for with onion peels or like with lemon peels, just like this.
That's shredded almond.
Just a
Tree.
little bit and spray. And then same for the pine needles.
But again, not all at the same time, you know,
In layers.
in
Mixture,
layers, yeah.
And then again fresh green, dry, and then again some almond. So yes.
And sheet of the animals too?
Yes.
A layer of
So the bird shit, yeah, because sometimes you have really bird shit here. You really spray also. Really try.
also.
Yeah, same. So now, okay, now I put almond. I would put first this. Okay, this is really super big.
But I have time here on the thing. I can sit and
Ah. A little bit more green, because the green is active, still active. And then
You don't want to bring some of your shit?
well, maybe later when you're gone, yeah.
yeah, because they should not run away, I have to show the quantity. Yeah, you do like this. And this is why I say it's cooking for me. This is cooking for me. I love it.
Some
I
herbs
really
on
love
top.
Taste is good.
It depends who's cooking.
Just different ingredients. And then dry again. And then again.
I might just add one advice.
Yes.
If you have to shred much material or if you work a garden, better to collect the different materials for the shredding machine and also to to compose the shredding. You know, you have some almond, some palm leaves, some other stuff, and already compose the shreddings. It is better.
Mix, to
Uh,
mix.
Yeah,
Ja, mezclar.
yeah. Did you understand? See, and not to have just a huge amount just of almendra. Always mix already in the process of
Shredding.
trituradora. Huh?
Sí, pero la cosa es que como cada
In a bucket, charcoal and full of urine and let it soak for 2 weeks. And then you have the charcoal soaked with urine, so you can put in the compost. You can put, in India we planted trees, so we put the soaked charcoal with urine around the tree. So for a long time the tree can take the urine out of the charcoal. It was working very fine.
Poor urine. You take poor urine.
Yes, you put charcoal and pure urine inside the bucket, let it stay for 2 weeks. Then the charcoal is like a sponge. It's taking the urine. You can also put charcoal and effective microorganism, everything. The charcoal is taking it like a sponge, yeah? You let it soak for 2 weeks and then you give it directly to the plants or to the bed. And in the charcoal it stays for a long time. It can take for a long time.
And it's have not to be shredded, the charcoal? It can be pieces?
No, it can be pieces, yes. Yes, we took pieces, simple. I will show you the quantity. This is the next how to make charcoal.
And maybe it's okay.
Also in India we did, sometimes we had big leaves, maybe 3, 4 palmies, and we always cover. That it's always covered. And then you just take the palmies away and just put again. But the moisture should stay inside.
Claro que usamos poco O sea, no tenemos mucho desecho porque somos 2 personas de cocina, ¿vale? Que de eso hay bastante, pero sí, podía quedarse abierto para ir...
The same. So in India you have most of the year there's no fresh green, so we had to go to people who have a pond or grey water cleansing subject to get some fresh green. Yeah, think in advance.
Yes, I was having the experience in a
So when
biodynamic
it's
center,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing a proper being of the compost with layers of goat shit
Yeah.
and organic material and all these layers, and then really could cover it with a lot of palm leaves.
Yes.
And they do a being. So they put information information in clay bowls
Yeah.
of different plants.
Yeah, biodynamic. I was
Yeah.
working many years.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had this. They are called.
have
They are called the compost compounds. Yeah.
so
yes.
it's really interesting because they
Yes.
put information for the bones of this being, information for the organs, information
Yes.
for the
Yes.
and they do a complete
Biodynamic farming.
yes. I was doing quite
Yes, I
helping
did.
in Nono place.
Yes, I did many times. But in this, it's perfect. Yeah.
It's
really
it's
for
really
me.
amazing.
For me, this is the perfect farming, biodynamic farming.
Yeah.
But you really, this is, I show you the simple basics, the principle, and the biodynamic farming, like with this coconut, this is really, it's great because they connect also to the stars.
They connect with the
And,
planets
yeah.
and stars
Yes,
and
yes.
are really like
Yes.
and for this biodynamic because they
Does it make a difference if you have a border around the compost?
So no. This is they sell like the bokashi bucket, yeah. They sell stuff that you can keep the pile on the point. So yeah, if you want, but the compost doesn't need. So in the farming we only pile, finish.
So it makes no difference.
It makes a difference if you have some borders with wood or something. The moisture will stay longer. Yeah. So I met one guy. He was doing a technique like he had branches, just like this, and he make like this and here and that and that. Yeah, you can. The moisture stay a little longer, but it's not needed.